George Condo is one of the most revolutionary artists of contemporary times. His work blends classical techniques with surreal, distorted figures, creating a unique visual language that has influenced both fine art and pop culture. From collaborating with Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring to designing Kanye West's iconic My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy album cover, Condo's impact is undeniable. But who is George Condo? How did he become one of the most sought-after artists of his generation? Let's explore the life and legacy of George Condo. Early life and education. George Condo was born on December 10, 1957 in Concord, New Hampshire. From a young age, he showed a deep interest in art and music, particularly classical painting and jazz. His artistic journey began at the University of Massachusetts Lowell, where he studied art history and music theory. Condo's early fascination with European old masters like Velázquez, Rembrandt, and Goya played a crucial role in shaping his artistic style. However, he also admired modern artists like Picasso and de Kooning, whose abstract and fragmented figures would later influence his own work. After college, he moved to Boston, where he played in a punk band called The Girls. During this time, he also worked at a silkscreen shop, where he learned printing techniques that would later influence his approach to painting. Move to New York and early career. In the late 1970s, Condo moved to New York City, which was rapidly becoming the epicenter of the contemporary art scene. There, he befriended artists like Jean-Michel Basquiat and Keith Haring, who were at the forefront of the graffiti and street art movement. However, Condo chose a different path, focusing on painting instead of street art. He briefly worked for Andy Warhol, where he assisted in producing Warhol's famous silk-screened artworks. This experience introduced him to the concept of mass production in art, something that Warhol had perfected. However, unlike Warhol, Condo remained committed to hand-painted, highly expressive works. During this time, he developed what he called artificial realism, a style that blended classical painting techniques with cartoonish and grotesque distortions. This approach would become his signature style, setting him apart from other artists of his time. Paris and the influence of European art. In the early 1980s, Condo moved to Paris, where he immersed himself in European art history. He studied the techniques of old masters and merged them with his own contemporary vision. While in Europe, his work gained international recognition, and he began exhibiting in major galleries across France, Germany, and Italy. Condo's paintings often feature exaggerated, distorted faces, combining elements of cubism, surrealism, and classical portraiture. His figures look both comical and unsettling, reflecting the absurdity of modern life. This approach earned him comparisons to artists like Francis Bacon and Pablo Picasso. His time in Europe helped refine his technique and deepen his understanding of art history. By the late 1980s, Condo had returned to the United States with a reputation as one of the most innovative contemporary painters, the rise of a unique style. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, Condo's work evolved, but his themes remained consistent. He continued to explore ideas of identity, psychological states, and social commentary through exaggerated and fragmented figures. His paintings often depict figures with multiple eyes, distorted facial features, and surreal compositions. These elements create a sense of psychological tension, making the viewer question the emotions and identities of the subjects. One of his most famous series, Mental States, explored different emotional and psychological conditions through distorted portraiture. This series was widely praised for its raw energy and expressive power. His ability to blend humor, horror, and beauty in a single piece has made his work both thought-provoking and visually striking. Collaboration with Kanye West and pop culture influence. One of Condo's most high-profile moments came in 2010 when he collaborated with Kanye West to design the album cover for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. The album artwork featured Condo's signature distorted figures and became one of the most talked about album covers of the decade. This collaboration introduced Condo's work to a new generation, cementing his status not just in the fine art world, but also in mainstream pop culture. Beyond Kanye West, Condo's influence can be seen in fashion, music, and film. His artwork has been featured in collaborations with brands like Supreme, and celebrities such as Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Madonna have collected his paintings. George Condo's impact on contemporary art. Condo's work has left a lasting impact on contemporary portraiture. His approach challenges traditional ideas of beauty and identity, presenting figures that are fragmented, exaggerated, and emotionally complex. He has been called a painter's painter because of his deep understanding of classical techniques combined with his willingness to break the rules. His influences span centuries, yet his work feels modern and relevant. One of his most important contributions is his ability to merge humor with psychological depth. His figures often appear both absurd and deeply human, making his art accessible and thought-provoking at the same time. Condo's paintings have been displayed in major museums around the world, including the Museum of Modern Art, MoMA, in New York, the Whitney Museum of American Art, the Tate Modern in London, the Centre Pompidou in Paris. His exhibitions continue to draw large audiences, proving his lasting relevance in the art world. Condo's expansion into sculpture. In addition to painting, Condo has expanded into sculpture, bringing his distorted figures into three-dimensional form. His bronze sculptures, like his paintings, blend classical aesthetics with surreal elements, creating pieces that are both elegant and unsettling. These sculptures have been displayed in major galleries and public spaces, further establishing Condo as a multidimensional artist. His ability to adapt his style to different mediums has allowed him to remain at the forefront of contemporary art for over 4 decades. The art market and Condo's commercial success. By the 2010s, George Condo had become one of the most valuable living artists. His paintings and sculptures have sold for millions at auction, with collectors around the world vying for his works. Some of his record-breaking auction sales include The Executioner's Song, 2018, sold for over $6 million, Smiling Girl with Black Hair, 2017, sold for $4 million, Forcefield, 2019, sold for $5.4 million. His ability to merge fine art with elements of street culture and pop surrealism has made him a favorite among both traditional collectors and younger, trend-focused buyers. George Condo is a true innovator in the art world. His ability to merge classical painting techniques with modern distortions has created a style that is entirely his own. Through his work, he challenges viewers to rethink portraiture, identity, and emotion, making his paintings some of the most compelling in contemporary art. From working alongside Warhol and Basquiat to designing iconic album covers, Condo has remained at the forefront of artistic evolution. His influence stretches across fine art, music, fashion, and beyond, proving that art doesn't have to fit into a single category. With a career spanning over 4 decades, Condo continues to push the boundaries of contemporary art. His work remains as fresh and impactful as ever, ensuring that his legacy will inspire future generations of artists. What are your thoughts on George Condo's work? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more art stories.